Hello, me lads and lovelies. Captain Edward von Arkham here, coming to you from on board the MHS Hysteria. Earlier today, I was in the galley with Ilsa, planning Litton's surprise birthday party. I suggested that we take him to the Caribbean to swim with the dolphins. But then Ilsa reminded me that Litton is terrified of dolphins, and that we're not allowed near Cuba anymore. Largely for the same reason. We said we were sorry. In the end, we decided that we shall take him to the Caribbean skies in the year 3258 to swim with sky dolphins. And Ilsa told me not to spill the beans. And I thought, hang on a minute, there's a bit of an odd phrase. I know what it means, but why? Well, this is actually a question that I already know the answer to, and I'm going to tell you, whether you like it or not. The phrase, spill the beans, is said to originate from ancient Greece, much like everything else. The great-grandfathers of democracy had a clever way of counting votes in the Athenian Council. When voting on whether or not to pass a motion, they would use beans. A white bean would indicate a positive vote, and a black bean would indicate a negative vote. The beans were collected in a large bowl and tallied up to determine a verdict. But because the votes had to be unanimous, if the fellow collecting the votes spilled the bowl of beans, the vote was halted and they had to start again. It is also rumored that this is where the tradition of cheering when someone drops a tray of dishes comes from. However, this is not where the phrase, spill the beans, is derived. The ancient Greeks did not use beans. They used pebbles. The phrase is actually due to the folly of a little-known 19th century jewel thief named Winslow Stewart. He would have been famed for making off with the valuables of the highbrow landed gentry by infiltrating their dinner parties posing as a guest. However, he was caught and arrested on his first attempt. Posing as a renowned socialite, he attended the dinner party of a wealthy duchess and owner of 2 massive rubies. In his defense, his plan was rather clever. He had bribed a serving boy to snatch the rubies and toss them into a big pot of imported mung beans to be served at dinner. When it was supper time, the servant was meant to discreetly spoon the rubies into Winslow's dish. However, the serving boy was a rather clumsy fellow, and just as he was about to serve Winslow his just desserts, he slipped and spilled the pot of beans all over the table, revealing the stolen rubies. Surprisingly, it didn't take long for Scotland Yard to figure out that Winslow was behind it. He was arrested and convicted. As for the serving man, needless to say he was sacked. Not only for aiding Winslow in the theft of the Duchess's prized gems, but for ruining her prized tablecloth by spilling beans all over it. And that, my duckies, is where the phrase originates. And that is the bell telling me that our time is up. I'm off to make sure that Litton isn't afraid of sky dolphins as well. Until next time, stay mad, my duckies. No? Well, what about sky tuna?